You are the only reason why you are not healing. You feel lost like a headless fly, without a plan, without direction, maybe even empty. And maybe you're asking yourself, how did I even end up here? You spend your life, years, even decades, in a state of inner survival mode, functioning but not living. You put yourself last, ignored your needs, overloaded your body, suppressed your emotions. And your mind, it may have been yearning for peace and meaning for a long, long time. You try one diet after the other, blame each method when it doesn't work, and quickly lose patience. Is that you? You search for quick fixes, a shortcut to health, healing, or inner peace. And yet, again and again, you realize it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Holistic healing is a path back to yourself, physically, emotionally, mentally. Let's get into it. And by the way, at the end, I will tell you my story, how I view this topic, and how I managed to transform my life. And believe me, I was truly lost. But first, follow for more. Healing takes time, real biological time. Healing is not a linear process, but a multi-layered restructuring of your entire system, physical, mental, and emotional. And this transformation follows physiological laws that cannot be accelerated without risking damage. Let's take a concrete example. How long does it take for the gut to heal? The gut is the center of your immune system, your hormone production. Over 90% of your serotonin is produced in the gut, and your energy generation. If it's been weakened over years by stress, poor nutrition, medication like antibiotics, sugar, alcohol, or emotional strain, it takes months, sometimes years, to regenerate. What exactly happens during this? First, cell regeneration of the intestinal lining. The cells of the intestinal lining renew every 3 to 7 days, but that doesn't mean they are healthy after 7 days. If chronic inflammation, leaky gut syndrome, or dysbiosis, imbalance in the gut flora, exist, regeneration is impaired. Balance can take months to stabilize. 2. Microbiome rebuilding. A healthy microbiome, trillions of bacteria that protect you, needs about 6 to 12 months of conscious nutrition, fiber, probiotics, and low stress to restructure itself. 3. Vagus nerve repair. The vagus nerve connects gut and brain. Under chronic stress, it's constantly overwhelmed to restore its regulation. How does your brain change? Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to restructure itself, is one of the most important prerequisites for sustainable change. But it doesn't work overnight. Dopamine-based patterns that have formed over years, e.g., reward through food, social media, withdrawal in times of stress, only dissolve through repetition, minimum 30 to 90 days, before a new pattern overrides the old one, or even longer. Conscious mindfulness, neurofeedback meditation, or journaling help make unconscious reactions visible. The nervous system coherence. Without a regulated nervous system, polyvagal theory, no new behavior becomes stable. How long does emotional and psychological healing take? Trauma research shows healing does not depend on how much time has passed, but whether you find safe spaces, emotional integrity, and tools to release and reorganize your nervous system. Trauma is stored in the body, in the somatic memory. It releases through secure attachment and relationships. Time. Often it takes years to dissolve deep patterns from childhood or adolescence, but the first real breakthroughs are often felt within months if you go deep regularly. and trauma affects everything in the body. Yeah, great, but what am I supposed to do with all this knowledge now, you may ask? This is the foundation. With this knowledge, you can calm down and slow down because you can't change it. You have to allow yourself the time to heal and go through the process. And believe me, the process is beautiful. It's what makes you strong and truly alive. How do new routines really form? You think, I just need to be more disciplined. But discipline is not a matter of willpower. It's a matter of structure. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning and impulse control, gets deactivated under chronic stress. That means if you truly force yourself by will alone, you will fail. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is stuck in survival mode. What you need is structure before motivation. Plan routines the evening before. Use calendars, triggers, rituals. Replace bad habits with good ones. Very important one. Only when you replace bad ones can you let go of the old and step into a positive future. Use dopamine wisely. Reward small progress instead of focusing on the end goal. Self-compassion instead of self-criticism. Studies show that self-compassion is more effective than motivation through guilt. Spirituality as a resource, not an excuse. Healing without meaning remains empty. You can do everything right biologically, but if you don't know why you're healing, there's still a hole inside. Spirituality doesn't mean turning away from the world. It means recognizing yourself as something whole, connected to something greater. For some, that's God. For others, it's the universe, the inner self. Spiritual healing means accepting that you are not broken, maybe wounded, that you are okay, trusting that there is a reason where you're going through this darkness, realizing that healing is not something you do, but something you allow. Health is not a 30-day quick fix. I'm not selling you a detox program, a 2-week reset, or a miracle diet. Why? Because true healing doesn't follow a cookie-cutter plan. It stems from a deep understanding of how body, mind, and nervous system actually work. There is no pill for your complex life. The human body is not a linear system, but a dynamic, complex network made of hormonal axis, e.g., hypothalamus, pituitary adrenal axis, gut-brain communication via vagus nerve and microbiome, immune defense, nervous system regulation, sympathetic, parasympathetic, psychoneuroimmunology, the connection between psyche, immune system, and brain. A pain symptom or exhaustion state does not have just one cause, but arises from the interplay of many factors: chronic stress, lack of sleep, trauma, inflammation, micronutrient deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, social isolation, negative beliefs, etc. That's why there can be no pill that fixes it all. Medicine may numb symptoms, but it doesn't change the causes. What are the real solutions though? The path of sustainable transformation. I will show you a holistic path that works on a neurobiological, psychological, and emotional level. A dynamic understanding that you can apply to your own lives. So let's go. Regeneration takes time and resources. The body repairs in rest phases. Sleep, oxygen, micronutrients are essential. Chronic diseases develop over years. Autoimmune processes, chronic fatigue, depression, there are no coincidences, but signals of a deregulated system. Reversal needs continuity, not radicalism. Next, learn how to regulate yourself. Your nervous system decides whether you feel safe or stuck in fight and flight mode. If it's chronically dysregulated, you can't relax, digest, sleep, or regenerate. Tools for self-regulation, breathing exercises, mindfulness training, nature contact, grounding, sunlight, cold exposure, stuff like that. Emotional expression work like journaling, art, tools that will accompany you for life. You don't need a challenge, but an understanding of yourself. What rhythms suit you? What foods truly strengthen you? How does your body react to specific emotions? What triggers your nervous system? How can you counteract early on? What kind of movement motivates you? Solutions are not products. Solutions are processes. Next, regain trust in your body, your path, your life. Trust is built through experiences where your body shows you, I can heal. After months of conscious living, you will notice you sleep better. Your energy stabilizes. Emotions flow without overwhelming you. All symptoms disappear, not magically, but because you restore the conditions for health. And that's it. I feel you. You're looking for a quick fix. I searched for it myself, but my own story taught me otherwise. Soon I had to realize that I have to go through the process. The overabundance of industrially processed foods, sweets, fast food, and a lack of micronutrients in my youth, followed by 11 mercury fillings, a cocktail of synthetic mercury that is proven to be neurotoxic. From adolescence, alcohol was added because alcohol is normal, not poison. Brain fog, low energy, low motivation, acne, etc., etc. My turning point was reflection and reintegration of nature and movement. It took me years. I lived a functional but empty life. School, apprenticeship, university, job, all without real passion. Eventually, at almost 30, I began to ask myself, what am I actually doing here? I felt intuitively that nature, movement, and self-responsibility were the keys. I enrolled in sports science and began truly to understand the human body, physiologically, biochemically, psychologically. What helped me in the end? Well, switching to a plant-based whole food diet, focusing on micronutrient density, bitter compounds, ferments, anti-inflammatory substances, strength training, and endurance, movement, but not as pressure, but as celebration of vitality, sauna and cold exposure, walking barefoot, meditation, my nervous system regulators, which I still love and enjoy after all these years. I learned to honor my story, but not to let it define me anymore. But the most important part was and still is to have patience and to surrender and trust in the process and all the good things I introduced into my life. Even though change did not manifest right away, some things got better fast, others took me years. Today, I support others on this path. You have to find a soul purpose that truly leads to real change in this world. Today, I understand only when a person is healthy can they make healthy decisions for the human world, animals, and this planet. That's why holistic health is also an act of responsibility toward yourself and your environment. I'm not here to sell you an ideology. I want to show you that true health is possible if you're ready to go on this journey, step by step, with yourself, not against yourself. Health means freedom, and this freedom lies in your hands. And I will gladly accompany you. Join my community, and now follow for more.